Hi everybody, I'm John Self, and welcome to Self Perspective, a weekly video blog with information and insight to help you manage your career. You know, today there's been a lot of discussion about whether people should have career plans, and I get calls all the time asking how much I charge. And you know, 10 years ago, 7 years ago, I would have said, you know, that's kind of a waste of money. But times are changing. Things have changed. Today, we are dealing with two significant developments. First of all, 10 years ago, ATS, applicant tracking software, the most cussed and discussed part of the candidate acquisition, talent acquisition bag of tricks, wasn't that widespread. It was so expensive, it was not as effective, and only the biggest of companies could use it. The cost per user was pretty high. But over time, as is the case with most other issues in technology, the manufacturers came up with better ways to program and to roll out these systems. And now more and more smaller businesses, smaller health systems, smaller corporate entities are acquiring applicant tracking systems. Now, what does this mean? This means that you're going to be dealing more than ever before with technology. And the bad news is now that with this great new technology, the fact is the first person who reads your resume going forward may not be a person at all, but may be a very sophisticated set of sensors that if your resume is not properly designed or if you don't have the right keywords, may not even recognize that you exist. Now, the other thing that I think is really key is that the algorithms are becoming more sophisticated. But the problem with this is algorithms don't have personality. You know, I got some great jobs in my career, and including my first one in healthcare, because the CEO, a really great guy named Bill Smith at Herman Hospital, felt like that there was something about me. He had a gut instinct that I could be successful. Well, guess what? In a lot of algorithms today, there's no room for gut instinct. So as I've been thinking about technology, I started thinking about my own career and how it's probable that I could have never accomplished what I've accomplished if I had to battle the technology. Let me explain. I started out as a low intern and then a general assignments reporter at a small daily newspaper in East Texas. I then moved up to a regional newspaper as an editor, copy editor, and then as assistant night editor. And it was based on relationships and people's guts that I could do the job, their gut instinct. And then I joined a big newspaper in Houston, first as an editor and then as a crime writer and investigative reporter at the Houston Post, where I worked nights covering the violent, mean streets of Houston, hundreds and hundreds of homicides each year, incredibly violent wrecks, these devastating disasters on the ship channel with all the petrochemical industry. I was dealing with people that in an instance their life changed. And then suddenly, because somebody else had a gut instinct, I found myself in the director's office at public relations at Herman Hospital in a penthouse overlooking the famed Texas Medical Center. I mean, what an incredible move forward. 3 months later, because of a gut instinct, I found myself as the first director of LifeFlight, one of the most successful programs now in the country. It was the second one started. 14 months after that, I was traveling the country. The helicopter company hired me and dispatched me out to visit with all the potential client hospitals to share my enthusiasm for LifeFlight and how it could make a meaningful difference in their organization. I mean, I'm now 26 years old. Legendary Anglican cleric and theologian John Wesley once said that if you are on fire with enthusiasm, people will come for miles to watch you burn. And that's what happened. I was so enthusiastic, I had an ability to sell people on a concept, and I was successful. After a brief stint as a business development manager with a for-profit hospital management company, I was asked to return to Herman. Again, Bill Smith had a gut instinct that I could do a new job he wanted done. And I was asked to build a network of rural and community hospitals, those hospitals were being hard hit by regulatory and reimbursement changes, and Herman was committed to get referrals and felt the best way to do that was support their success for the future. We started with 3 hospitals. When I left the organization, we had 43, 6.5 years later. I then ran a successful hospital turnaround company for rural community hospitals, and then later joined a regional health system in East Texas as a director to turning around an home infusion pharmacy, and then running the largest private EMS system in Texas while we went through a massive transformation. And finally, as a general manager of an international recruiting company, and I worked in Canada and the Philippines and Australia and South Africa, among other places. I've started 2 healthcare search firms, and I've recruited in 6 countries on 4 different continents. What's amazing about this is that today I continue to do search, and I now am seeing how all these technology advances are really thwarting people and really frustrating people. And that causes me to think about my own career. And if I'm being entirely truthful, it is this. If I had to do battle with ATS and all the algorithms, the chances of me having the success that I've had were probably slim and none. Because those algorithms, those programs would have probably seen my background, no master's degree, and said, oh, this guy is not qualified. We don't have a gut feeling about this guy. And I never would have gotten some of those great jobs or enjoyed some of the wonderful experiences that I've had in my career. So it's all coming down to technology. If you're not into networking, you're missing the boat, because networking is going to be one of the last ways to maintain personalization in recruiting, in talent acquisition. As I said, talent acquisition programs that we're using today would have roadblocked me in my career. And so please know I'm very thankful that I'm from a different generation. But now we have to develop strategies and skills to be able to navigate that incredible technology hurdle. You know, there's a new construct to the art of finding a job, and it does require more planning. You've got to think now, when you're coming out of high school, what do you want to be? So you have to think about where you're going to go to school, and you have to think about what degrees are best, and you have to think about what certifications you're going to need to have, because you won't be able to get those great jobs if the algorithms are reading, saying, this person doesn't have this or that, and then you fall off the checklist. You know, I think now I've become a big fan of career planning, and I've become a big fan of coaching executives to help them understand some of the pitfalls that we're experiencing. It's not impossible, but you do have to have a new set of skills, and you do have to have a strategy, and you do have to have a plan. I hope this information's been helpful. If it has, I hope you'll visit my YouTube site, John G. Self. Like us, please, and subscribe. I'd love to have you as a regular viewer. And if you have ideas for further or future video blogs, please let me know. You can reach me at careertransitions@johngself.com. And you can also connect with us on LinkedIn and our corporate Facebook page. And if you would like to subscribe to our twice weekly written blog, you can do so at johngself.com. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you have questions, let me know. We're here to help. See you next time.